Well, it's Pastor Jordan here giving you a little update on what's happening down in Houston over the past month. If you've been driving by, you might have seen the construction fencing but not noticed much work happen on the outside. But on the inside, it's a completely different story. Let's go take a look. Well, welcome inside the sanctuary here at Trinity at Houston. As you can see, things are very different. Most importantly, maintaining some of our heritage, protecting it. You've seen rental crew has really made sure our painting is protected there and sealed up and taken away the staging here, seeing some of the original flooring. What's interesting to me as I look at how this church was used in the past, if we look down at the floor, you'll see little lines here where the original pews sat. And it shows me two things. From when it was originally built, you probably had the gated access to the pews. These were the pews that had little doors that swung here. You would walk in, you would have your seat here. And then when you look at the layout, it was actually 2 rows in this sanctuary. So we had a set of 2 pews here in the middle, and then a pew row on each side. And you had 2 aisles, which then tells you that's how people came in and out of the church, but also explains why our venting system here on the floor never quite fit in. And as I'm looking, a little bit of humor maybe, you see with these different pews where the vents came up under your feet, maybe these were the VIP seats where people got to keep a bit warmer in the winter as things went on. Hello here up from the loft. This is an area where we're going to be restoring and putting some of the pews that were down on the main floor coming up to the loft up here. So if you see, they've actually cleared out the pews that were up here, and part of the contract is they're restoring those, developing them, so that we have a matching side of pews on both sides up here in the balcony, now that the organ console is moving down to the main floor. And one of the things that's going to be changing is how we get into and out of the sanctuary. Rather than those back doors, our main entrance will be right here at the side, right near where the painting is. And so as we come out this door, looking forward, eventually this is where our elevator will be. And if we go into where the old sacristy was, you'll see some of the big changes that have already been made. All these non-load supporting walls have been taken out, opened up the space. Eventually we'll have, again, our sacristy here in this space. This will be finally a washroom on the sanctuary level, an accessible universal washroom right here on the main floor. And then again, another wall and more storage space over here on this side of the hallway. And looking across the hallway, if we peek out these doors, we've got our different classrooms, which will all be set up again. So anyone that's doing a learning will be able to be right here on the same level as the sanctuary. Other thing we notice is they've uncovered, taken off the old wall covering, is from when they added the addition, they took away stairs that went down to the basement. So I've heard stories about how the pastor, as the service started, would come up from the basement, and that's when the service would begin. So we see just the edging of the stairs here going down to the basement that got covered up when they added on Luther House. So for our next stop, let's go down to the basement and take those old stairs. So as we come down into what was the kitchen and what will become the new renovated kitchen, you see again those stair lines of how the pastor would have come downstairs. Been really interesting as they've revealed though this original foundation from the 1860s. And you just see that original stone stacked on stone, holding up all the memories, all the worship, all the life changes that have happened in this building. And that goes all the way around the building, and amazing how it's held up the craftsmanship that went into building this place years ago. And as I've taken away the drop ceiling and gone ready to expose everything and build for what's next, you see some of those details that have emerged that have been hidden for decades. You know, the decorated beams and the pillars that hold up the church, those are all there. The bricks that were laid there that hold up all the floor joists. Everything here that's lasted for a long time, that held up this church, kind of being seen, shown to us, and they're carefully taking it apart so that they can rebuild and make sure we've got a stable base for what comes next.